The objective of this session is to learn about how to install Python on Windows, how to install Python on Mac, as well as how to install Python on Linux. Additionally, we will learn about Spyder Integrated Development Environment and Jupyter Notebook. Installation of Python. We are going to use Anaconda distribution. It is the installation software. And the programming language will be Python version 3.6. Anaconda installed two important open source development environment. They are Spyder IDE and Jupyter Notebook. Anaconda additionally installed 100 pre-built Python packages, and also it allows 720 packages to install via Conda. Windows installation. Go to this website packageName.io and download installer for Windows. And for this session we are using Python 3.6 version. Depending on your computer, whether it is 64-bit and 32-bit, you choose that installer. Double click on the exe file and follow the on-screen instructions. Installation on Mac OS. Go to this website. And to prevent permission problem, upgrade your operating system to 10.12.3 or later. Download the graphical installer for Python 3.6. Double click on the .pkg file and follow the on-screen instructions. For Linux installation, go to the same website and choose download for Linux. And depending on whether it is 64-bit and 32-bit computer, choose Python 3.6 version. Double click on the downloaded file and follow the on-screen instructions. And for checking updates, open Anaconda prompt and type conda update conda. The option yes or no will come. Type yes. And after this you type conda update Anaconda. It will update the Anaconda. And Anaconda updation will upgrade the Spyder as well as other packages. To install additional packages, type conda install packageName. Spyder IDE. Spyder is the acronym for Scientific Python Development Environment. Main part of the Spyder is editor window, console, Python or IPython console, help window, and variable explorer. Jupyter window, Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook allows you to create and share documents which will contain live code, equation, excellent visualization, and explanatory text. The notebook supports over 40 programming languages, which includes Python, R, Julia, Scala, which are important for data science. For additional information about Jupyter Notebook, you can visit this website. Now let me show you practically how to do the installation and some explanation on Spyder and Jupyter Notebook. Go to this website packageName.io, and then there are options for downloading for Windows, downloading for Mac, and downloading for Linux. Here instructions are given how to install, and this is for Mac. Choose the graphical installer and Python 3.6 version. This is for download for Linux. Detailed instruction is given how to install on all three OS. This is the Anaconda prompt. Here you type conda update conda, press enter. Now all packages are already installed, so no upgradation is required. And then you can type conda update Anaconda, press enter. So here also nothing new has to be done. Now let me show you about the Spyder IDE. This is the editor window and this one is console. You have option of two console, Python console and IPython console. Choose IPython console and this is help window. Now for example, you type any Python object range 5 and bring your cursor here and then press Ctrl and I together. It shows descriptions about the object, what it is and how it is used. Now I assign a value 1 to variable x and press F9 and then you go to variable explorer. You can see x is an integer and size is 1. Now I be another variable and I assign a value 1.5 and then here you either you run here or you can press F9 which will run the current line or selection. So we can select both of them and press F9 and you can see that y is a float. It is showing in the variable explorer. Now let me show you how to use a Jupyter notebook. First at the right hand side top you come to this place where new is written and choose IPython notebook. You can change this name later on. You write any code here. For example, you write print hi and then you either press Ctrl enter or Shift enter and then for example I assign a value 1 to variable x and then I reassign x equal to x plus 2 and finally I print the value of x and all this code will be run when you press Shift enter. You can see the final value of x is 3. Now if you want to do some editing work, like for example you want to remove this cell, you can from here you can cut this cell, you can bring this cell up or bring this cell up down. Here if you make some mistake, sometimes you need to restart the kernel. Kernel is the cell of the programming language. And here you have the option of, instead of writing code here, if you choose markdown, you can write comments there. And if you want to now change the name of the file, you can use rename. And finally you can save that. All that code and output will be saved in a text file. Here you can rename, you can give some name. For example, I am making it 7 and renaming it, and then you can save, and all this code and output will be saved in a text file with IPython notebook extension. So what have you learned? We have learned about how to install Python on Windows, Mac and on Linux. We have also learned how to upgrade the IDE and packages. We have learned about Spyder IDE and also about Jupyter Notebook.